I was sitting alone in our apartment that evening, the Seattle rain tapping against the window like it always did. My phone buzzed on the coffee table, a number I did not recognize. The message read, "She still loves me. You are just a placeholder." I stared at those words, my heart pounding. I thought I had everything figured out. 3 years with the woman I loved. A ring hidden in my drawer. A future I believed in. What I discovered next shattered everything I believed about love and loyalty. Before I tell you what happened next, let me know where you are watching from tonight. Hit that subscribe button and stay with me because this story taught me something I will never forget about trust and self-respect. If you have ever been blindsided by someone you trusted completely, this one is for you. My name is Dimitri. I was 32 years old at the time, working as a software engineer at a tech company in downtown Seattle. Life felt good. I had a stable job, a nice apartment in Capitol Hill, and most importantly, I had Meredith. She was the woman I thought I would spend the rest of my life with. We had been together for 3 years, and I was planning to propose to her within the next month. The ring was already bought and hidden in the back of my sock drawer, where she would never look. Meredith worked in marketing for a retail company. She had this warm energy about her, the kind that made people gravitate toward her at parties. Her hair was a rich chestnut brown that caught the light just right, and when she smiled, her whole face lit up. I fell for her the moment I met her, and 3 years later that feeling had not faded one bit. We met at a birthday party for a mutual friend named Derek. I remember standing by the snack table minding my own business when suddenly someone bumped into me from behind. Hot coffee splashed all over my white shirt. I turned around ready to be annoyed, and there she was. Meredith stood there with her eyes wide, apologizing over and over, dabbing at my chest with napkins. She was so flustered, so genuinely embarrassed, that I could not help but laugh. We ended up talking for the rest of the night, and I asked for her number before I left. Those first few months of dating felt like a dream. We went hiking at Mount Rainier on weekends, packing sandwiches and thermoses of hot chocolate. We started a tradition of cooking dinner together every Sunday, taking turns choosing recipes from different cuisines. She introduced me to Thai food. I introduced her to my grandmother's lasagna recipe. We built something together piece by piece, and it felt real. Early in our relationship, Meredith told me about her ex-boyfriend. His name was Kyle. She described that relationship as toxic and controlling. She said Kyle was possessive, always checking her phone, always questioning where she was. She told me she had ended things completely and had no desire to ever go back to that. I believed her without question. Why would I not? She seemed so relieved to be free of him, so happy to be with someone who trusted her. After 18 months of dating, we decided to move in together. It felt like the natural next step. We found a 2-bedroom apartment in Capitol Hill with big windows and a view of the city skyline. We adopted a small, succulent plant and named it Jerry. We talked about the future, about maybe getting a dog someday, about where we might want to buy a house eventually. I started saving for a ring. I was so certain about her, so certain about us. I thought I had found my person, the one I would grow old with. I could picture our wedding, our kids, our life stretching out ahead of us like a road with no end in sight. But then, about 2 months before that night, when everything fell apart, things started to shift. Small things at first. Things I tried to ignore. Meredith began taking her phone with her everywhere, even to the bathroom. She would flip it face down on the table whenever she set it down, something she had never done before. Sometimes she would get a call and step out onto the balcony to answer it, closing the glass door behind her. When I asked who it was, she would say it was just a coworker or her mom calling about something. One evening I walked into the living room, and saw her smiling at her phone screen, typing quickly. When she noticed me, she immediately turned off the screen and set the phone aside. "What is so funny?" I asked, trying to keep my voice light. "Just memes from Sarah," she said, waving her hand dismissively. Sarah was her best friend from college. It seemed like a reasonable answer. But something about the way she had reacted, the speed with which she hid the screen, stuck with me. I told myself I was being paranoid. I reminded myself that I was not Kyle, that I was not going to become the kind of guy who questioned her every move. Trust was the foundation of our relationship. I was not going to let my insecurities destroy what we had built. So I pushed those thoughts down and kept moving forward. I kept planning the proposal. I kept believing in us. I had no idea how wrong I was. That night when the message came through from the unknown number, everything I had been trying to ignore came rushing back. I read the text again. "She still loves me. You are just a placeholder." My fingers felt numb as I typed back, "Who is this?" The response came almost immediately, "Kyle. The man she thinks about when she is with you." My stomach dropped. Kyle. The ex she said she had left behind. The toxic relationship she claimed was over for good. I wanted to throw my phone across the room. I wanted to wake Meredith up and demand answers. But something held me back. Maybe it was the engineer in me, the part of my brain that needed data before drawing conclusions. Maybe I just was not ready to face the truth yet. Another message came through. "Ask her about last Tuesday. Ask her where she really was." Last Tuesday. I thought back. Meredith had told me she had to travel to Portland for a client meeting. She said it ran late, so she had to stay overnight at a hotel. She came back Wednesday afternoon, tired but cheerful, telling me about how the meeting went. I had not questioned it. Why would I? But now, sitting in the dark with Kyle's messages glowing on my screen, doubt crept in like poison. I did not sleep that night. I lay next to Meredith, listening to her breathe, feeling like a stranger in my own bed. The woman I loved was inches away from me, but she might as well have been on another planet. The next morning, I went to work like everything was normal. But my mind was elsewhere. During my lunch break, I opened our shared credit card account and searched for transactions from last Tuesday. Nothing in Portland. No hotel charges. No restaurant bills. No gas station purchases along the route. My hands were shaking as I closed the browser. That afternoon, I found an excuse to text Hannah, one of Meredith's coworkers I had met at a company party. I kept it casual, asking about a recipe she had mentioned once. Then I slipped in a question about whether the Portland trip went well. Hannah's response made my blood run cold. "Portland trip, I do not think Meredith had any client meetings last week. Must be thinking of someone else." I stared at those words until my vision blurred. That evening, I came home before Meredith. I sat at my computer and did something I never thought I would do. I searched for Kyle on Facebook. I found him quickly. Kyle Morrison. Tall blonde, worked in real estate. His profile picture showed him standing next to a sports car, sunglasses perched on his head, wearing a smug smile that made me want to punch through the screen. I scrolled through his friends list. Meredith was not there. But when I looked at mutual friends, I saw several names I recognized from her social circle. And when I dug into old posts from years ago, I found photos of them together. Kyle and Meredith at a beach. Kyle and Meredith at a concert. Kyle and Meredith looking at each other like they were the only two people in the world. That was the past, I told myself. People have histories. It does not mean anything now. But I could not shake the feeling that I was missing something, that the truth was right in front of me, hiding in plain sight. 2 days later, Meredith was in the shower. Her phone sat on the nightstand screen dark. I had never gone through her phone before. I had always believed that trust meant not needing to check. But trust had gotten me here lying awake at night, wondering if everything I believed was a lie. I picked up the phone. I knew her passcode from watching her type it countless times. My heart pounded as I entered the numbers. Her main text messages looked normal. Conversations with friends, her mom coworkers. Nothing suspicious. But then I remembered something. A few months ago, she had mentioned downloading a new messaging app that her team used for work communication. I found the app tucked away in a folder on her second screen. I opened it. And there it was. A conversation thread with no name, just a phone number. But the profile picture was unmistakable. Kyle. I scrolled up reading message after message. My eyes burned, but I could not look away. Kyle had written, "I miss you. When can I see you again?" Meredith replied, "Soon. I just have to be careful." Kyle, "Leave him. Come back to me. We belong together." Meredith, "I know. I miss you too. Dimitri is great, but he is not you. He never makes me feel the way you do." Kyle, "Then why are you still there?" Meredith, "I just need to figure out the right time. I do not want to hurt him." There were photos, too. Selfies of them together, recent ones based on Meredith's haircut. One showed them at a restaurant I did not recognize, her head resting on his shoulder, both of them smiling. The timestamp was from last Tuesday, the day she was supposed to be in Portland. I took screenshots of everything. My hands were trembling so badly, I almost dropped the phone twice. When I heard the shower turn off, I quickly closed the app and put the phone back exactly where I found it. Meredith came out of the bathroom, wrapped in a towel, her wet hair dripping onto her shoulders. She smiled at me like nothing was wrong, like she had not just been texting another man about leaving me. "Everything okay?" she asked. "You look pale." "Just tired," I said. "Long day at work." She kissed my forehead and went to get dressed. I sat there on the edge of the bed, feeling like my entire world had just collapsed into rubble. I did not confront her that night. I needed time to think, time to figure out how I wanted to handle this. I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those messages. I heard her voice saying, "He is not you." I felt the weight of 3 years crashing down on my chest. The next morning, I went through the motions: shower, coffee, commute, work. But inside, I was formulating a plan. Some men would have exploded. They would have screamed and thrown things and demanded explanations in the heat of the moment. But that was not me. I had been raised to keep my composure, to think before I acted. My father always told me that a man's character is revealed not in his moments of comfort, but in his moments of crisis. This was my crisis, and I was going to handle it with dignity. During my lunch break, I drove home. Meredith was at work, so I had the apartment to myself. I went to the storage closet and pulled out her old suitcase, the burgundy one she had brought when she moved in. I carried it to the bedroom and set it on the floor. Then I started packing. I did not throw her things around. I did not rip them or damage them. I simply folded her clothes neatly and placed them in the suitcase. Shirts, pants, dresses. I added her makeup bag from the bathroom counter, her jewelry box from the dresser, her favorite books from the nightstand. I packed enough for her to get by until she could figure out her next steps. When the suitcase was full, I zipped it closed and placed it right by the bedroom door, where she would see it the moment she walked in. Then I went to my sock drawer and pulled out the ring box. I opened it and looked at the diamond one last time. It was a princess cut, just over 1 carat set in white gold. I had spent 4 months saving for it. I had imagined slipping it onto her finger so many times that the fantasy felt more real than reality. I closed the box and put it in my jacket pocket. Then I sat down at the dining table to wait. Meredith came home around 6:30. I heard her keys in the lock, heard the door swing open, heard her footsteps on the hardwood floor. "Dimitri," she called out. "I brought Thai food. I thought we could have a cozy night in." She walked into the dining area and stopped when she saw me sitting there, my phone placed deliberately on the table in front of me. "What is going on?" she asked, her smile faltering. "Why do you look so serious?" I picked up the phone and held it out to her. "Read this." She took the phone hesitantly. I watched her face as she read Kyle's messages. The color drained from her cheeks. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. "I can explain," she finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Where were you last Tuesday?" I asked. My voice was calm, steady. I had practiced this in my head 100 times. The truth this time. She did not answer. She just stood there, her eyes darting around the room like she was looking for an escape route. "Meredith, where were you?" Her face flushed red. She looked down at the floor and said, "It is complicated." I stood up slowly. I looked her straight in the eyes. "It is simple," I said. "Go be complicated somewhere else." I pointed toward the bedroom door. She turned and saw the suitcase sitting there, packed and waiting. "Dimitri, please," she said, tears starting to stream down her face. "It is not what you think. Kyle kept reaching out to me. He would not leave me alone. I did not know how to handle it." "So you handled it by sneaking off to see him, by telling him I am not enough for you." I was confused. I did not know what I wanted. "You knew exactly what you wanted," I said. "You wanted both. You wanted the stability I gave you and the excitement he gave you. You wanted to keep your options open while I was planning our future." She grabbed my arm. "Please, give me a chance to fix this. I will cut him off completely. I will block his number. I will do whatever it takes." I pulled my arm away gently, but firmly. 3 years, I said. I gave you 3 years of my life. I trusted you completely. I was about to give you the rest of my life. I reached into my jacket pocket and pulled out the ring box. I set it on the table between us. "This was supposed to be yours next month. I had the whole proposal planned. I was going to take you back to Mount Rainier, to that spot where we watched the sunset on our 3rd date. I was going to tell you that you were the best thing that ever happened to me." Meredith looked at the ring box, and her crying intensified. She reached for it, but I pulled it back. "But you chose him," I said. "Maybe not officially. Maybe you were still deciding. But you chose to lie to me. You chose to betray my trust, and I refuse to be someone's backup plan." I walked to the front door and opened it wide. "It is time for you to go." "Where am I supposed to go?" she asked, her voice cracking. "That sounds like a question for Kyle." She stood there for a long moment, tears streaming down her face. I could see her searching for something to say, some argument that would change my mind. But there was nothing. We both knew it. Finally, she walked to the bedroom, grabbed the suitcase handle, and rolled it to the front door. She stopped in front of me, her eyes red and swollen. "I am sorry," she said. "I really did love you, Dimitri." I looked at her one last time. The woman I had planned to marry. The woman I had trusted with everything. "If that was love," I said, "I do not want it." She walked out the door. I listened to the sound of the suitcase wheels rolling down the hallway, growing fainter and fainter, until there was only silence. Then I closed the door and locked it. The first night alone was the hardest. I sat on the couch in the dark, staring at the walls, feeling the emptiness of the apartment pressing in on me from all sides. I kept looking at the spots where her things used to be. The empty hook by the door where her coat used to hang. The bare corner of the bathroom counter where her makeup bag used to sit. The cold side of the bed where she used to sleep. I did not cry. I wanted to, but the tears would not come. I just felt hollow, like someone had reached inside my chest and scooped out everything that made me feel alive. The next few days blurred together. I went to work, did my job, came home. I ate when I remembered to. I slept in short bursts, waking up at random hours, reaching across the bed for someone who was not there anymore. My friend Marcus showed up on the third day with a six-pack and a pizza. He did not ask questions. He did not try to give me advice. He just sat next to me on the couch, and we watched old action movies until 2 a.m. Sometimes the best thing a friend can do is simply be present. After about 2 weeks, something shifted inside me. The initial shock wore off, and I started to feel something other than numbness. I felt angry, then sad, then angry again. The emotions came in waves, unpredictable and overwhelming. But I let myself feel them. I did not try to push them down or pretend everything was fine. I sat with the pain and let it run its course. I started cleaning the apartment, really cleaning it. I boxed up everything that reminded me of her and donated it to a thrift store. I rearranged the furniture. I bought new bed sheets, new towels, new dishes. I erased every trace of our life together and started fresh. I went back to the gym for the first time in over a year. During my relationship with Meredith, I had let my fitness slide. I had gotten comfortable. Now I used the gym as an outlet for all the emotions I did not know how to express. I lifted weights until my muscles burned. I ran on the treadmill until my lungs screamed for air. And slowly I started to feel strong again. I also signed up for a photography class. It was something I had always wanted to try, but never made time for. Every Saturday morning I showed up at a small studio downtown and learned about composition and lighting and how to see the world through a different lens. It gave me something to focus on, something that was entirely my own. About a month after Meredith left, I got a text from Kyle. I almost deleted it without reading, but curiosity got the better of me. I just wanted to say, "I am sorry," the message read. Things did not work out the way I thought. Meredith left me for some other guy she met at a bar. Guess I was just a placeholder, too. I read those words and felt absolutely nothing. No satisfaction, no vindication, just emptiness. I did not reply. I simply blocked his number and moved on with my day. 3 months passed. The sharp edges of the pain dulled into something manageable. I was not over it completely. I do not think you ever fully get over a betrayal like that. But I learned to live with it. I learned to carry it without letting it crush me. One Saturday at my photography class, I noticed a woman I had not seen before. Her name was Leah. She had curly auburn hair and a laugh that filled the room. We got paired together for a lighting exercise, and we spent the whole session joking around and comparing our terrible photographs. After class, she asked if I wanted to grab coffee. I hesitated for a moment. Part of me was still scared, still guarded. But another part of me, the part that had spent 3 months rebuilding myself from the ground up, decided to take the chance. "Sure," I said. "I would like that." We are taking things slow. I have learned my lesson about rushing in too fast, about trusting too blindly. But there is something different about Leah. She is open and honest in a way that Meredith never was. She does not hide her phone. She does not have mysterious meetings that do not add up. She is exactly who she says she is. Maybe it will work out. Maybe it will not. But either way, I know I will be okay, because I finally understand my own worth. Looking back on everything, I realized that handing Meredith that suitcase was not just about ending a relationship. It was about choosing myself. It was about drawing a line and saying that I deserve better than being someone's backup plan. Love should never make you feel like a second choice. Love should never require you to compete with a ghost from someone's past. Love should be certain and whole and freely given. Walking away from Meredith was the hardest thing I have ever done. Part of me still loved her even as I held that door open, but staying would have destroyed me slowly. It would have chipped away at my self-respect until there was nothing left. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is hand someone a suitcase and show them the door, because your peace is worth more than their excuses. Your dignity is worth more than their half-hearted apologies. If you are going through something similar right now, I want you to know that it gets better. The pain fades. The emptiness fills up again. You learn to trust yourself even if you are not ready to trust anyone else yet. And most importantly, you learn that walking away is not giving up. It is making room for something better. You are not losing them. You are finding yourself. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever had to walk away from someone you loved because they did not choose you the way you deserved? How did you find the strength to let go? Drop your story in the comments below. I read every single one, and I know that sharing our experiences helps us heal together. If this story touched you, please hit that like button. It helps more people find these stories and maybe find the strength they need too. And if you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button so you do not miss the next one. Share this video with someone who might need to hear it today. You never know whose life you might change just by passing along a story. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And thank you for being part of this community. I wish you strength, I wish you clarity, and most of all, I wish you the courage to choose yourself. Take care of yourselves. I will see you in the next one.